Welcome back, everyone. So before I talk about the hero selection, the alternative hero selection, I'm going to talk about pets. So pets are a very useful addition especially for free-to-plays. Now I'm going to talk about the best pets for this strategy. You do not want to Doom Balloon. Do not put Doom Balloon. He's great for minnow bombing. Just don't. It's too risky. Okay. Bubblow is fantastic. He heals your team. Right now he's on Grimfiend, but I move him over to Michael. He's just going to heal your team. You're not going to really have a healer. Bubblow is going to be your healer. Take Bubblow up as high as you can, along with Aviar. So I already mentioned how much I love Aviar. These two pets, Bubblow and Aviar, are some of the best pets. Cesletin's really good too. It's not as important to level him up, though, compared to the other ones. But you can level up Cesletin a bit if you have the shards. But, of course, these Bubblow and Aviar are the more important ones. So that's 3 of them. I don't think you want Phoenix either. He destroys buildings. Let's see. Yulephant. Yulephant's pretty good. He helps your Pumpkin Duke dodge, which he'll probably die anyways, but okay. Thanks for taking one for the team, PD. Angi's pretty good because it has damage reduction and heals. And Havoc's decent just by making it more likely that your heroes are going to survive. Probably going to end up proccing on a Skull Knight or something, so it doesn't kill you. So I would use those 3 pets. So Yulephant on Pumpkin Duke. Havoc can go on. I mean, it's not a big deal where these go. Havoc can go on like Aries. Angi I put on Valentina. I keep Aviar on Skull Knight. And Bubblow is going to go on Michael. And before I forget, artifacts are also important. Eye of Groot is going to help you. If your Eye of Groot is level 1 or below 5, take it up to level 5. Because it's a silence that can stop enemy Skull Knights and enemy Anubises. It's great. Put Warlock and those damage heroes on Axe, and Skull Knight on Blitz, or whoever your main base clearer on Blitz, and then any tank heroes other than Skull Knight on Goblet of Life, and maybe some Lightning Rocks. I put Aries on Lightning Rock. So those are the pets. Now we'll talk about the hero selection. Okay, it's time to talk about some alternatives to heroes I listed before. So, I don't know a ton about him, but Wallawalla looks interesting. I think he just damages heroes. You want to go for heroes that can kill heroes, but don't do any area damage that would end up getting you closer to that 50% mark before you kill the enemy heroes. I think Wallawalla looks very promising for the head-to-head strategy. So you might try him. I do not have him, so I can't try that to confirm it. But he might be very good at it. So if you have him, give it a try and see what you can do. He might be very excellent, actually. So give it a go and see what you can if you have him. You got very lucky. Mechtessa, I have no idea. I'm not really sure. I don't really know how she works. You can ask other people and see what you think, if she's okay or not. I don't know. I don't know what to think of her, so I'm not going to give advice on her. I've seen some people use Rockno, though. If you don't have a Skull Knight, he might be an alternative to tank. He does AoE damage, though, and that would make me a little bit nervous about dealing damage to buildings. I think he does... Let's see. I think he does damage to buildings, though, so I'd be a little bit careful about using him. You don't want someone who has a huge AoE skill like Golem or something more like Vlad, who would kill a ball of buildings. But if it's relatively nearby and localized, I wouldn't be too afraid to use someone like that, if you have no better alternative. So you might be able to use Rockno. I've heard of people using Rockno in a head-to-head strategy. So you can try him out and see what you got if you don't have a Skull Knight. There's another free-to-play strategy with Ronin, but I don't think he's very good in head-to-head, mostly because he just destroys buildings, so I'd be careful with him. Anubis is fantastic. On head-to-head, he clears out enemy heroes, but the downside is hardly anyone has him. I bet a lot of free players don't have him. If you're lucky enough to have him, he's going to make your life a lot easier. You probably, if you have Anubis and you have Skull Knight, wherever Skull Knight is, you should be hitting high targets, even if you don't have an Aries, but you should probably have an Aries at that point. You should be hitting high targets. You really need to be, if you're not doing it already. Heartbreaker, she's a great hero, but I don't think she's good for head-to-head. She kills too many buildings. Same with Little Nick. Like I said, Michael's fantastic if you have Michael. Revenant seems like he sucks. Trixie Treat, I think she hits buildings. I wouldn't use her. Demo, if you're free to play, you don't even have him. Medusa wouldn't be good. Grimfiend hits too many buildings. I think Leo does too. Valentina. Let's see. I don't think Candy Cane's worth investing in at all. Of course, Skull Knight. I wouldn't recommend Golem or Dredrick for head-to-head strategy. Not Harpy Queen. Tree. You can use Tree. He can help revive your heroes. So if you really don't have any good options, breed a Treantaur and have your heroes go in. And if they all die, then drop your Tree somewhere to proc and then revive your heroes to finish them off. That's viable. The only bad thing about that is that all your heroes died and you have to wait for them to revive or gem them. I personally don't gem my heroes, so I don't really like Tree anymore. I used to use Tree though, and you can make him their 6th hero if you don't have any other options. Warlock's fantastic. If you don't have any good options, some people use Pixie. I don't really like Pixie, but some people do. She seems like she's more of a sniper strategy hero. I wouldn't invest in her unless you really have no other options. And I probably would keep her single evolved. I wouldn't double evolve her for that. I don't think it's worth the investment. Vlad, don't use Vlad, please. Aries. Aries is really good. If you're gonna do head-to-head and you have an Aries, he's an auto-include on your team. So Skull Knight's auto-include, Aries is an auto-include, Pumpkin Duke maybe. So you have three pretty easy picks there. Cupid's viable. He can buff your heroes, give them the energy. He's a good buffer hero to help your team kill out enemy heroes. Pumpkin Duke, like I said. If you are really early into the game, you can use Druid, I think, but he's one of the first ones you're going to drop. Some people use Reaper. He can help, especially with Pumpkin Duke, get some stacks. He can help do some damage to the enemy heroes. So he's pretty decent. The bad thing is he's really slow, and he's only going to be useful in killing enemy heroes. He's not going to help you take out a base. I think that's it for the heroes. So let me go through it and list them one by one. So we have Wallawalla, I think. Mechtessa is a maybe. Rockno is a maybe. Anubis is an option. Michael. Valentina. You might be able to use Beast Tamer, but I would use something else if you can. Skull Knight. Treantaur, Warlock. Pixie's a low tier, in my opinion. Some people, I'll say this, some people love Pixie a lot. I don't, but that's my preference. So take that preference with a grain of salt. I'm not the best player in class, but that's my opinion. Aries is one of the high tiers. Cupid's viable. He's fine. He's mediocre. And the nice thing about him is you'll build him for dungeons anyways. So that's the nice thing about Cupid. Most people will have Pumpkin Duke Cupid at the very least, and that's already a great start for a head-to-head. You should be able to make a free-to-play head-to-head team pretty much with any lineup. Some are going to be better than others, of course. Then there's Pumpkin Duke. One of the lowest tiers, Druid. And also probably one of the lowest tiers is Reaper. Which Reaper can be useful, especially for a sniper strategy too. So those are the heroes I'd recommend. You might be able to make other ones work, but they're going to be more risky. You can see all in common with these heroes is they hit other heroes, they buff your team, but they don't really destroy the enemy base before you can exit. And that's kind of the key idea with them. And I did leave out some other heroes, but I left out the ones that free-to-plays won't really have, of course. So that's the kind of heroes they're going to be working with, and I already talked about the ones I have. So the next few videos, I'm going to be talking about the strategy and laying out kind of the whole idea of some bases. After that, I'll actually give examples, but I won't go through the whole strategy every time. But the idea is I'll have a few strategy videos where I'll talk through my strategy and then show you my attempts. Keep in mind, I'm going to fail the initial attempts, and I'm going to keep trying until I get 3 flames. So it's not like the first try I'm going to get a success. I'm going to have to try and see how it works, and we'll go from there. I'll explain in the next video. So see you guys then.